Good evening, everybody. Hello, welcome to the Suffolk Non-League Show. I am James. He is Adam. We are live across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It's Monday night. There are no Monday blues here. We are ready and raring to go, talking about all things non-league football in Suffolk. Adam, we missed you last week, mate. How the hell are you doing?
I'm very relaxed. I've just been camping for a week. I've just had a nice holiday. I'm chilled.
How can you possibly be relaxed considering what weather you had to put up with? You had the worst weather to go camping with. All the nice warm weather we've had.
I know.
And you go and pick the week where it poured down with rain.
Like I sent a few pictures to some people. Like it rained for 30 hours solid where we were, and the underneath of our tent just turned into an absolute bog. But we're dry, tent's dried, we're good to go.
And you're ready and raring for tonight, mate. We've been chatting privately about some of the talking points, haven't we? We've got a few things we need to get off our chest tonight. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it hasn't exactly been a quiet week in local football.
No,
we were thinking it would be, and like because I've been away. We were like, I hope it is a quiet week so that we can because it's basically all the organisation was on you.
100%.
And it was a busy week, and then a few things happened on Saturday in regards to results, which smashed things up all over again. So it's going to be a busy show, I think.
100%, mate. Absolutely 100%. Evening, guys. I'm going to get some of your hello messages up on the screen in a few seconds. But let's just get a few bits of admin out of the way before we go too far into the show. As always, if you are one of the people watching this on YouTube, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. It's very easy to do. All you need is it's a DeeJam account. Jesus.
Everyone needs a DeeJam account.
All you need is a Gmail account. Sign into YouTube in the top corner. Head on over to the DeeJam YouTube channel. Click subscribe and hit the notification bell. So when the videos do go live, including matchday experiences about, which I will talk to you about this evening at some point before we disappear, then you are informed when a video goes live. If you're watching this on Twitter, please give the link a retweet just so we can spread it as far and wide. If you are a member of any football group at all, any football team, put it in your WhatsApp groups and let's get this spread out as far as we possibly can. If you are on Facebook, share the link and let's get talking about non-league football. That would mean the absolute world.
So some of the topics tonight are going to affect virtually every club.
Yes.
One way or another. So pile in as many people as you can because it'd be great to have the opinions.
Definitely. And as always, a massive thank you to our Patreons and also our KoFi donations. All of the people who have subscribed and put money into the channel, massively appreciate. All of your names are appearing on screen. For those of you who don't know, Patreon is a monthly optional service that you can donate towards the channel on a regular basis, as the guys on the left-hand side have done. KoFi is a one-off donation where for the price of a coffee, you can help go towards the running costs of the channel. The software we use is not free. We're wanting to get this out on podcast platforms as well at some point later on in the future. So if you want to help contribute towards that, all of the money goes back into the channel. So if you want to get involved and help the channel continue to grow, then both of the links for Patreon and for KoFi are down in the description. And we thank every single one of you who is on that list. Really does mean the world. Right, let's get some of your hellos in. There's absolutely loads of you joining already. Really appreciate you guys being here on a Monday night. Adam's smirking because he's seen a few of the comments already. James Bloomfield is in the building. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good friend of the channel, and obviously we speak to James on a regular basis, Adam, so we know the man. Ben Moore, hi lads, hope you're both well. We are indeed, mate. We are indeed. Ryan Johnson, all right, lads. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you in the chat, mate. As normal, Dean Cooper, only place to be on a Monday night. You are not wrong. This is the only place to watch football coverage of non-league football in Suffolk. It's the only place. Connor Ellis, evening. Welcome back, Adam. Vinny Ford, Adam without a hat. What is going on, man? What is going on? In fact,
my hat
Here's a hat for you, mate. Do you want me to just send it across to you virtually?
Like frisbee over. You're only over the block. Like, my hat took a bit of a tumble whilst we were camping, so I've kind of lost that. So you're going to get to see my shiny, balding 33-year-old head.
Well, I'll tell you what. So just so I can cover up my receding hairline that's going in faster than the tide, I'm going to wear a hat for tonight, mate. So
head.
So yeah, exactly. I think I'm giving Ant McPartlin a run for his money. I'm going to wear the hat tonight just because Adam is not. Alex, evening lads, evening mate. We're going to be speaking about you later on in the show for good reasons. Luke, give kids hello, evening mate. Hope you're doing well. Hannah Parnell. Hannah is amazing photographer and works closely with Leyston. Go and make sure you follow her on Twitter because she does
someone to drop a follow to that one.
100%. She does some amazing work, and some of her photography skills are just insane. So make sure you go and check out Hannah over on Twitter. Morgan, hi DeeJam, mate. Hello, hope you're doing well, my friend. Daniel Barnard, even gents. Adam, the hat was a joke last week.
I took it seriously, Dan. Sorry, mate.
Matchday Marketing, we bow down to you. You're absolute legend. Great work that he does for non-league football. Again, I've said it last week. I've said it the week before. I'm going to continue to say it again. If you guys are interested in whatever he does some amazing posters, some artwork for non-league football. Make sure you go and check him out. Dan Snell looks like he's had a tough week.
Just put paper out, mate.
I've only just read that comment. That's brilliant. Michael Crowfoot, evening, boys. Where's your hat? Adam, we've already talked about that. Alex, hi, gents. And Alex has put that he wants the link for the show. Alex, I will be sending that over to you momentarily, my friend.
First one for the live link.
Do not worry about it. If you guys want to get involved just like Alex does, then all you have to do is just put live into the chat. I'm going to be sending that link over to him in a few moments when I can figure out how the hell I do it. Because I've only ever done it. I've only ever done it with Adam. I've sent it over by email. Sam, Adam, you suit the balding, shiny head, my friend. I'm joining, Adam. I'm well and truly on my way for that one. Somersham, evening, guys. Good to see you guys in the chat. Thanks for getting involved. All of our lads over at Somersham. Hannah, I'm blushing. Cheers, guys. No worries. This is what we're here for, to spread the love of non-league football in the Suffolk area. So we appreciate what you do. So it's worth a shout out. Why not? Absolutely, why not? We're happy to help in whatever way we can. So, Adam, as you said, a lot of talking points to go through this week. Shall we get into our first bit of positive news before we
dive straight in? Let's go for it.
Before we get into the nitty gritty that I know you guys are dying for us to talk about. First bit of good news is that we have one of our local lads signing for Championship Wycombe Wanderers. I found this story incredible. For those of you who do not know, Malachi Linton was at Lowestoft last season, and this season he was released by Crewe and their academy a couple of years back. Joined Lowestoft, has done really, really well over there, and he's earned his move. And I just feel that is something that's worth talking about. It's worth the praise because, it just goes to show to a lot of people who are, who have been released by academies, who are still of a certain age, who feel that once that contract is gone, that opportunity has disappeared, that it's never going to happen again. And this is just a good way, and it's something positive to talk about. It can still happen for you. There's so many examples of players who come into non-league and then go back up again. I just thought it was worth sharing. Adam, what do you think?
It's great for Lowestoft as well, because he'll play and it will always be back to that. Yeah, he's come from Lowestoft. He's come out of non-league. Let's hope he does really well for himself. I was speaking to James Bloomfield earlier, and he gave me some stats of Malachi's Football Manager 19 profile. I'd sign him. Pacey, bit of flair, good decision making. I think it's really good. And do you know what? Wycombe are going to struggle like mad. So I think the opportunity is going to be there for him. To make his mark. Wycombe haven't made a fast start, let's say, but it doesn't matter if they come down. That's a dream move, really. Yeah,
it really is. And as I said, I think it's definitely it's definitely worth talking about in the least. Alex, I'm sending the link over to you, my friend. There you go. We will get you on, Alex, when we come over to our talking points. I really, really want you to get involved with, mate. So that link is now sent over to you. Again, if you guys want to get involved in the show, just like Alex has, all you need to do is put live in the chat and we will get you on to have your say. If you want to continue to make your points in the chat, that is absolutely no problem. Born Val Reserves, Malachi is a good kid and from a good family. Well done to him, and it's good for Lowestoft too. Echoes what you said, and he said not the first player to go pro from Lowestoft. So that's a good talking point. Adam, another positive move in my eyes, not in everyone's, but the Furlough Nun cancels cup competitions. They made a statement, I think it was only last night actually, where they have decided that they are going to be cancelling this season's competitions. If I bring up what they put over on Twitter last night up on the screen for you guys, the League Management Committee has decided that owing to a shortened season and continued uncertainty around the COVID-19 situation, the League Cups, the League Challenge Cup, First Division KO Cup and the Shell Trophy will not be played this season. I would say it's got maybe a 70% positive reaction and maybe about a 30% negative reaction on Twitter. What are your thoughts on this, first of all, Adam? And again, guys, get involved in the comment section. How do you feel about it? If you're involved at a club, if you're in the Furlough Nun, what do you think about this move in particular by the Furlough Nun?
I don't feel too positive about the Shell Trophy going for the Reserve League.
Right.
Fixture congestion isn't really as much of an issue for the Reserve leagues as it is for the other leagues, and I think that was a good opportunity to add something a bit different.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some clubs out there that are really upset, to be honest.
There are, and I've seen a few of them talking.
That genuinely their opportunity to actually win something. With the way that things have gone this year, something that you have to bear in mind is that squad sizes are generally smaller. Generally, some teams have got big squads, but generally they've got smaller squads, meaning they're not going to be able to field, their normal match day 11 in cup competitions if they're going for other things. Yeah. But that might mean youngsters don't get as much chance to play, and it might mean that some of those other clubs that maybe can't have haven't got the depth and maybe can't compete in the leagues, they can't go for silverware where they could have done before.
Yeah,
and it's a standard thing with like football. It's like cup competitions and the league. In the Furlough Nun, the cup competitions are actually quite a big thing. Like, there's not very many promotion spots. It's not like you get playoffs and everything else. You're going to be lucky if you get 2 out of the Furlough Nun Prem. So I think teams are going to feel like that's an opportunity to have silverware that they're going to miss out on. But by the same measure, people are going to be a bit sick and tired of fixture congestion later on, and that might sort it out a bit, albeit the cup only has about 5 rounds anyway.
Well, yes, but I think we've already seen by the fact that especially in the Furlough Nun, there are a lot of teams who have only played 1, maybe 2 games already this season because of the FA Vars, because of the FA Cup. There are quite a few teams who are just still doing well and progressing quite nicely in those competitions. We're now getting around to that point of the year where the weather is going to start deteriorating.
Yeah,
pitches are going to get a lot tougher. Conditions are going to get a lot worse. So, with that in mind, and the continued uncertainty around whether or not fans are going to be allowed into grounds later on, because we're in, it's a difficult situation to be in, because we don't know whether or not a second wave or a second lockdown rather is going to be actually coming to Suffolk, and we don't know where we stand as a county, and we don't know where our leagues stand. It's very regionalised at the moment, and so far, touch wood, we are yet to be affected in this part of the world, but we could be. So I think to cancel these cup competitions, I think is the most sensible thing I've seen from a league authority or from a group within a position of power in a long time, because we have got to protect the league as the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
As much as cup competitions mean a lot to certain clubs, the league is the most important thing. We cannot be having another situation where, because of certain things that are arising, because of certain things that are happening again, where we then have to cancel the league for a second year in a row. Can you imagine? So many teams are now making some big signings, and we've talked briefly off camera about a club in Norfolk who are making some very good signings at the moment, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They're putting a lot of money into their club. Can you imagine the absolute heartache of having to go through that once again, where they then get told, "Nah, the league's being cancelled again"?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's I think this is a brilliant decision. I really do. I want to praise the furlough none and the people who are making this decision, because I think it's a very, very smart and sensible decision. And as Dean Cooper says in the comments, I wonder whether or not the SIL are now going to follow the same route about whether or not the Senior Cup, the Junior Cup, everything like that. Are we going to be seeing clubs of a similar nature, leagues of a similar nature following the same thing now? Are we going to see it?
A few things I'd like to question. Like, often, we do get a couple of managers from the furlough none drop in, and I'd like to know what their thoughts are on it. Like, if they feel disappointed by the fact that they may not have an opportunity at some silverware. But also, what we've got to remember is that last year, the furlough none scrapped their cup competitions while the Suffolk FA kept theirs.
Yeah.
So they have had a more pragmatic outlook historically anyway, and I think they did the right thing scrapping their cup competitions last year.
Yeah.
Ending it when things ended. There was no need to carry it on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let's get some of your thoughts up on the screen here. And Alex, I'm going to be bringing you in because I want to hear your thoughts. I can see you nodding in the green room there, mate. I can see you nodding. So I want to get your thoughts on in a second. So I will be bringing you on, mate. Dan, good decision by the furlough none league. Most clubs only field squad players in the early rounds anyway. Very, very good point. Bourne Vale, I think the chairman will be happy as there's less match fees to pay. We've already talked about Dean's points about the SIL, whether or not they're going to be following suit. I mean, maybe as a result of this show, we might see a statement out tomorrow morning. Who knows? They tend to do that. Whether or not that's a coincidence, I don't know. But they do tend to put statements out the following day after the show.
After the show,
yeah. Nick Punter says, at Dean Cooper, you're not wrong. A lot of good players around. I think that could be in reference to the lowest off point.
Yeah.
Maverick UK, SIL do not run the Senior Cup. It's run by Suffolk FA. So that's down to Suffolk FA. And I think
if it's Suffolk FA, that it'll get played.
Yeah, we'll comment about that in a little bit. Evening, Ryan. Thanks for joining in the chat, mate. I don't think the SIL run many of the cup competitions themselves. So again, definitely not the Senior Cup, Vinny is saying on there. Those are FAL competitions, not SIL.
Confirmed.
Ben Moore says, well done, furlough none. If the Senior Cup and Junior Cup, both semi-finals have been played already. Yeah, they have, which we've already talked about in other shows. And again, Dan says, not the SIL decision to cancel Senior and Junior Cups, though. Again, Tony Stoner said, Vinny, they run the League Cup, Morrison Freight and Travel. There you go. Tony is on the ball as normal. Let's bring Alex into the chat in this one. Evening, mate. How you doing?
Right.
You're all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good man.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this? Furlough none, cancelling cup competitions. Are you kind of in agreement with it? As somebody who regularly competes within cup competitions and league competitions as a manager, how do you feel about it? Because we're talking about it from a fan's perspective. Yeah. You're involved in the game. How do you feel?
I think it's a good decision that the furlough none have took on that, because at the end of the day, we want to play football. And if this is going to start coming from different areas, because it's located in different areas. Once it starts coming over, cross-contamination and stuff like that, it's going to stop football, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
So to keep it localised and to keep the local leagues playing their game, I think it's the best thing to do. The ones, as I say, that does affect us, which obviously a lot of the chaps in here will see, is obviously the Suffolk Senior Cup and the Suffolk Senior Reserve Cup, which obviously my side's in.
Yeah.
we've been drawn away to Haverhill for our first game, so it's quite a distance still to go. Yeah, okay, people may look at the money side and stuff like that, but the health side comes first. Sorry, but I've always turned around and said that. As much as we love the game and enjoy the game, we've got to put our health first.
Yeah, definitely. Because the reason I was asking you about it is because I know that every time I speak to a manager, when I'm talking to him about cup competitions and how far people want to go in certain competitions, everyone says, I want to win it. I want to win it. Every competition I'm in, I want to win it. So I just kind of wanted to see how you really felt about it, because it does kind of limit what your club is then aiming for if you are then taking those cup competitions away, because there's going to be a lot of furlough none Prem teams and North teams, and Adam will know this as well, who maybe are kind of looking at things and going, well, there's 5 or 6 teams that are going to be at the top this year. We're not really going to be in amongst that shout.
It's our chance of a bit of silverware. And
exactly. This is what we're aiming for this season.
So like Hackney Wick got to the semi-final of this competition last season.
Yeah, true.
And, their league form was horrific.
Yeah.
They were in 16th place in the league. They put about 5 wins together all season. This trophy they've got to the semi-final of, and it's a cup competition. Genuinely don't know what's going to happen. The only thing that matters is the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So there will be teams that will think that's their punt.
I think every team when you get put in a cup competition, when you get put up against a side that it's always going to be either a higher level or sometimes a lower level. You want to get as far as possible. It's good for the club, good for the team, it's good for morale. Sometimes a good cup run can change someone's perspective in the league. They could be the first half of the league may not be great for them. They might not be winning games. Then they could go on a little bit of a cup run, and obviously momentum then picks up and then starts helping out in the league as well. It's one of those ones to say it is difficult. Everyone wants to win the cup. Everyone wants the glory at the end of it. It's just a shame sometimes that people in here can't decide what goes on, and it kind of gets taken away from us.
Yeah. I mean, would that be an option that you would like to see, where managers, clubs get a vote on how things are done, or do you kind of feel that would be maybe things that might get a bit too complicated?
It might. I don't know. It might get complicated on every decision, but when it's possibly something like this, because obviously the Thurlow Nunn have decided they're not going to play their cup competitions, but a lot of Thurlow Nunn sides are in the Senior Cup.
Yeah.
Are they going to then go to the FA and say, look, we're not playing our cup, we don't want to play the Senior Cup? And would that then change the FA's mind? Do you know what I mean?
Everyone in the corner of their mind, though, every time you say this, like people will say, it's really sensible. Like fixture congestion was going to get silly. The first thing that people will be thinking is, the FA might have a vested interest money-wise in their competitions, and it all gets a little bit like the FA only doing it for a bit of money because income's going to be down this year. And they're a business, they do need it, but I suppose there's a calculated risk that they're going to be weighing up with it as well. Like we've got to be sensible on our part in thinking why they want. You got to have some cup competition, I think. Yeah, just not last season's carrying on, because that is stupid.
Yeah, we've already been down that road, mate. We don't need to. we don't need to drag that up again. We don't need to drag that up
we
again.
Won't talk about cup competitions from last season. We won't go down that road.
Alex, you were getting a lot of attention in the chat, mate. I want you to see some of these comments if you haven't done so already. Vinny Ford, Alex is in some kind of boudoir. Send him off. Jokes. Alex is a great guy. We've got on here as well. I have no doubt that Alex has come on here because he wants to apologise. I imagine that's why he wanted to come on. We come on, talk to us about what happened this weekend. Let's get it over and done with, mate. Let's get it done.
Unfortunately, I was asked to leave the pitch or side of the pitch by the referee. As I say, I put something out on Twitter. I think yesterday, you know, I'm a passionate guy. I love my football. It doesn't matter what club I'm at, where I'm at. I'm always very passionate about my football, and I'll always, as I say, protect my players. Wrong choice of words, probably. You know, referee deemed it as something I shouldn't have said and sent me off. You know, it's not proud of it, but I'm still proud to be passionate. And as I say, I will always try and look after my players as well. You know, everyone. It's difficult because, you know, I'm not I'm not a nasty person or anything like that. It's just I'm passionate.
Heat of the moment.
Everyone is. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'd love to be able to sit here and say, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say that. But Adam has watched me play football. He knows that there's a certain level that even I get to, and I'm a bit like I'm very hard to kind of maintain. I think people will vouch for that who have played 5-a-side and 11-a-side with me. It took me a while to be able to try and rein it in some of the comments that I was saying, but I completely get why people do lose their cool, and it's very easy to sit there on the sidelines and judge and say things, but it's when you're in the heat of it, it's a different matter.
I think it's also it becomes difficult because when obviously during the game we were losing the game, you know, against a very good Cop side, I have to add. The more frustrating thing about it, I think, is sometimes even when you're losing, you still think you're playing well and you still think that there's a chance of getting out of it. And then sometimes when something happens, it doesn't go your way, and then you're like, it's so frustrating. It's like, when you're a fan and you're a fan of football, you know, you can sit in the stands, and I'm not being funny. A lot of people have been to professional games, and the amount of things that are said, not right, but the amount of things that are said on the pitch, on the sideline, in the stand.
Just gonna hide. Remember, I used to say professional matches. Right.
You know, it's you know, it's as I say, it's passion.
Yeah,
but
it is,
you know, I learned by my mistake. I'll take my punishment.
Yeah.
You know, I apologise to the lads afterwards, because at the end of the day, that's not. I'm not representing myself very well if I'm getting sent off. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
100%.
You know, hopefully it's not a regular occurrence, and I know when I go to say something next time, that'll be.
Yeah, that's it. You've got some good comments off the back of that. Dean Cooper, fair play, top lad and a good manager. Takes a lot to hold your hands up and say sorry. Vinny Ford, fair play, Alex. I've been there many times. Respect to you for the apology. See you in a few weeks in the cup. Alex, we are going to bring you off screen for a little bit. I want to bring you back on when we start talking about the SIL, mate. Stay in the green room if you can, mate, and we'll bring you back on when other topics come on. All right, good having you on.
Cheers, Alex. Appreciate it.
And if you want to join the stream, just like Alex has, all you have to do is put the word link into the chat, and we will invite you on and get you on. Alex is the first official guest we've ever had on the channel. Dan's obviously been a guest host, but that's the first guest we've had on the channel. So there you go. A bit of history made on the show. Daniel Barnard in the chat. James, good topic to bring up will be sim bins. I don't feel they're being used as much as they were last season. Daniel, we will talk about this next week because we've got some big talking points to go through tonight. But I think myself and Adam, we need to have a proper chat about this to you guys out in the open. Don't you agree, Adam?
Yeah, and I probably need to cool myself before I talk about them because Alex has just come on and said about what happens when you get passionate about something. I think the same might happen for me. So I haven't learned a lesson yet, and I don't want to be taught one. So I think I need to chill out and work out what I'm going to say constructively. If that probably gives you a fair idea of what I think about them.
No, it doesn't. We'll talk about it more next time around. However, the two topics I do want to talk about before we start getting into all the results and the fixtures and the talking points from this weekend's action. We have had the news that this week, the Suffolk Premier Cup final, not from this year, but from last year, is to be played over 2 legs. Now, Guys, get your thoughts in the comment section. I want to hear what you have to say on this one. I can see Alex is shaking his head below us. He's not happy about this one. Now, before I start, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, before I start, I do just want to say that for 95% of what Suffolk FA do as an organisation, as a group, I agree with. I back them as much as probably more than most people do. The campaigns that they have for young players and for young people, for the women's game, they do a lot to promote it online. All right, I don't want this to become a slagging off session. I don't want this to become that type of show where all we talk about is the negative things. All right. As I said, I respect a lot of what Suffolk FA do. I'm probably going to get slaughtered by people in the comment section for saying that, but I just want to say that before I go into this. All right, Adam? Because
I wholeheartedly agree, to be honest. And
all right,
I'm not. So, it's just a peculiar thing.
Right. So we've already talked about the fact that last year's cup competitions are still going ahead. People are not happy about it. Some people are happy about it. That is what it is. However, we heard the news that during the week, Suffolk FA put out on there that the Suffolk Premier Cup between Lowestoft and Needham will be played over 2 legs next month. In their statement, they put on their website that both Lowestoft and Needham were keen to play a home and away leg, 2-legged final rather than a one-off tie. The 2 legs will be played on Tuesday, October the 13th and Tuesday, October the 20th, with Needham having home advantage on the first leg and the second one taking place at Lowestoft. Both matches will be at kickoffs in line with a 10 p.m. bar curfew. In the event the scores being level after the 2 legs, the final will be decided on a penalty shootout. It is the first time a final of the Premier Cup has been played over 2 legs since the 58-59 season. So that's the statement. Adam.
Yeah.
What the hell are they thinking?
Well,
seriously, what
haven't got enough matches already, have we? So
seriously,
squeeze some more in.
Somebody clip this up and send it to Suffolk FA because we are in the middle of one of the worst pandemics the world has seen. We are in such uncertain times. We don't know what the hell is going on. We don't know when our season's going to finish. We don't even know if this year's going to finish. We're having leagues cancelling cup competitions. We've had last season cancelled. We've had this season delayed. No one knows what the hell is going on. It just, I can't understand the logical thinking of somebody who's sitting there making this decision going, yeah, this would be a great idea. Let's put it over 2 legs. Let's add another fixture in and amongst everything that's going on at the moment. I can't understand somebody's thinking behind this. Somebody in the comments tell me that it's a good decision. Please, I'd love to hear your argument for it. It just absolutely, it's just blown my mind. I'm so annoyed about it, as you can probably tell. It's just really, really wound me up. What is the point? Why are we doing it? It's like, if it was this year's competition, I might, and I mean might, understand it. But this is last year's competition. Come on. Let's move on from it. Let's just move on. Adam, talk. I need to come.
They have said, dissecting it, they've said that that's what Lowestoft and Needham wanted.
Yeah.
If they
want the trophy decorated in ribbons and they want Haribo inside the middle of a trophy, I don't care. Just because they want something doesn't mean they get it.
I think like it can only be a money-driven decision from the clubs to try and get more revenue because they are losing out massively on a cup competition. But it's ridiculous. One of the things that comes across the site, if a team has got COVID, whatever, they have to cancel the game and then forfeit the cup game. I don't know how that affects last season's, but what happens if on like one of the cup legs, one of the team members has got COVID and they can't play? You're having 2 stabs in the dark where the whole cup could go to pot. Could you win a cup final through a COVID call-off? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Like, they are opening themselves up to just more risk than they need to It's loads of people have put it is a final. Finals, as it even said on that thing, haven't been over 2 legs since I wasn't even in existence. Like,
yeah.
It just isn't needed.
I'm pretty sure my old man wasn't in existence at that point, but I'd have to double check his birth certificate to be honest. But that's just it's just wound me up. It really has. It's really, really wound me up. And I'm just looking at Google Maps right now, right? If we are that worried about having, I know obviously everyone wants to have the final at Portman Road or blah, blah, blah. I don't even know where the final of this competition is. It could be Portman Road. I'm not
the whole attraction of this whole competition is you get to play at Portman Road.
Right. Okay. So you do. So the big thing is that you get to play at Portman Road, right? They're obviously worried that because it's going to be midweek that we've got the travelling between the two people. Do you know what I mean? Lowestoft to Needham. It's a fair distance on a Tuesday night. I'll grant them that. Right. Let's look at some neutral grounds that they could potentially go to, right? In the middle. Let's say, for example, this. Is that too far for people to go to? In the middle of Lowestoft and Needham? That's an option.
It's only allowed like 300 in, though, isn't it? I don't even know if it's that many.
Well,
I think that's the problem, whereas those grounds are allowed more. I don't know the numbers.
I think that is the reason why it's being done.
It's the number of fans that can see it.
I think it could well be. But hasn't the semi-final attendances that we talked about last week, hasn't that just shown you that people just don't care?
Ben Moore has just put a hilarious comment.
I'm going to read some of your
guys right at the bottom, like literally.
Let's read out some of your comments on here. What sort of final is it? If there are 2 games, 100%. Maverick UK season null and void. Why are we playing cups? We've talked about it before. It's the most ridiculous decision that we've seen in a long time. Official Westerfield, most ridiculous decision ever. 100% agree. Dan Barnard, it's to do with attendances. I reckon only 300 supporters allowed. We have hit the nail on the head there, Dan. Absolutely 100% agree with you there. Suffolk FA trying to claw back some of the money lost to low semi-final. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Low semi-final attendances. This should give those guys an indication that people are just not interested in last year's competition.
That's the thing, like, both of these clubs already had one opportunity to fill a ground up and they could far from do it.
It absolutely baffles me. Dan Hiscock, surely under the current COVID circumstances, it's an unnecessary extra match.
I think that's the one I really think hits the nail.
Ben Moore, why over 2 legs is so baffling. Good point, Dan. Doubling the risk for no reason. Neutral ground negates any advantage. Why was always so. It's to make more money if they are allowed fans in here. Drew Kendall, to be honest, my way of seeing it is that it's a chance of clubs to pick up potential silverware. Yes, it's congested. I think we're talking about something else on this one, Drew. I think you've
watching a little bit behind.
No. Yes, if they can congest fixtures more, then. But if both clubs are happy, then fair enough. I know both clubs are happy, Drew, but the bigger picture, man, the bigger picture.
The thing is, Drew's quite tight to Needham, so he'll know they're happy with it.
Oh yeah, of course he will. But do you know what I mean? It's just I'm thinking about the county and do you know what I mean? As a whole, I don't know. Doubling the risk, double their money. Mac has just simply said it is a joke. Paul, don't wind me up, mate. Don't wind me up. I know those emojis, man. I know what you're doing. 100%. Macca knows. 100%. Harsh on the other semi-finalists as well is another comment from Westerfield. Kurt, you've joined us in the middle of a rant, mate. It's not going well. If you'd have joined us about 20 minutes ago, me and Adam were perfectly calm. Well, I think Adam's calm. I think it's just me that's wound up, to be honest. Bourneville reserves, plenty of venues between Needham and Lowestoft. Again, I could reel off a whole list of people if you really want. All right, so we've got Wickham Market, we've got Saxmundham, we've got Leiston. Leiston's an option. That's a potential option. As I said, this is an option. There's loads of clubs in between. There's loads of clubs. I could go in on the map, but I'm not going to. Do you know I'm closing the map because this is annoying me. Ben Moore, you can see from the attendances and no one really cares about last year. If it is from a revenue point of view, then okay, they need to survive. But Jesus Christ, sort it out, lads.
Why don't they just state, though, it's an opportunity for clubs to get increased revenue that would be missed because we can't play at Portman Road? Job done. Everyone knows.
Honesty is the best policy, lads. That's all I'm going to say. Dan Snell, Suffolk FA won't use this as it's a Norfolk club. That's, fair enough. But there's plenty of other clubs in and around that could use it. It's not like they're going to get 500 fans in on a Tuesday. You never know. But based on the semi-final attendances, I don't think so.
The thing is, those cup finals often got 1,000 people in, or fairly close to.
Yeah,
at Portman Road.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it has to be about the money, surely. All other finals are being played over one leg, I believe. No need for Premier Cup to be over two. You are 100% right. Have clubs not earned the right to be there? Not easy to get to a final. Premier Cup over two legs is a joke, though. Do you know what, Jamie? I agree that people have the... Do you know what I mean? If clubs are happy to compete in it and they want to do it, then yeah, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? If people are desperate to win last year's competitions, then that's absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? I don't agree with it. A lot of people don't agree with it. But if you do, and you're one of those clubs and you want to win that competition, then fair play to you. Do what you want to do. Do what is best for you and your club. But this, for me, is just a nonsense. It just, I don't really know what more to say. Alex, I want to bring you in, mate, because I can see you've been nodding along and stuff like that the entire time on there. Just very quickly, what do you think about it? Because I want to move on because I want to calm down.
I don't agree with it. I can see where the clubs are coming from with money-wise and stuff like that. But it's only one extra game. It's one extra game. Is that going to make a massive difference, really, to be honest?
It's funny, though, isn't it, how something that only truly affects two clubs winds so many people up as well. Do you know what I mean?
I think the other thing is as well, so when we were going back and we were talking about like playing at Portman Road and stuff like that. As to regards to not playing because it's a Suffolk club or a Norfolk club, it doesn't really matter, because I remember, I don't know if it was last season or season before, when the Senior Cup couldn't be played at Portman Road, it was actually played at Colchester's ground, so it was Essex. Mm-hmm. So that shouldn't really come into it,
Good point.
The other thing with COVID and stuff like that, would that not enhance risk even more as well? Playing two games, another one. If it was just that 100%. One game, you obviously, and playing at a smaller ground makes the risk smaller, and probably a better atmosphere. If you've only got a small crowd going to a big ground, it's less atmosphere than what it would be for a smaller crowd going to the smaller ground. But no, I don't agree with it. Final has never been over two legs. If that was something that they were looking to do, then maybe have done both the semi-finals over two legs. That could have given them more revenue and helped four clubs out instead of just two. But
it's all going to go to pot when each one has got 175 fans in attendance, and then everyone's going to question why the hell they bothered.
Yeah, it's
genuinely unless they can fill both of those fixtures up, what is the point?
You're going to get a lot of fans
midway through.
You're going to get a lot of fans from both, especially in the first leg. You're going to get a lot of fans from, I think they said Needham was at home. Lowest off fans are going to be thinking, well, what's the point of me going along to the first leg? Because the game's not over. I'll stay at home. I'm just going to concentrate purely on the second leg. Only Needham fans are going to turn up, and I say only Needham fans. They do have a big following, so they will probably pack that ground out quite nicely. But then the second leg, who knows? It could be 4-0 Lowestoft or whatever the scoreline is, and then Needham fans think, do you know what? What's the point of me travelling all that way on a Tuesday night to see us get absolutely stuffed again? You just don't know. A one-off leg, anything can happen. That's what we love about cup finals. That's what we love.
Exactly.
Just imagine if in that first leg, Lowestoft absolutely bang Needham. Some daft score. What is the point? Let's go for the home tie and we're going to be 6-0 up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen because I pretty hotly tipped Needham this season for what it's worth. But
Yeah, I think it probably will be needed. I'm just using them as an example of, do you know what I mean? But yeah, Alex, I'd had to get your thoughts because I could see you nod along there, mate. Appreciate you jumping back in. Again, we will get you back on the show in a few moments. Dan Barnard, James, have a sip of your drink and chill. I am chill. I'm fine.
You should see him when he's angry, Dan. Seriously.
I am fine. I needed to get that off my chest because I've been talking to Adam about this over the past couple of days, and it's just been getting me. It's just an unnecessary thing to do. And when you see what happened with the furlough none announcement, and the positive side of things, and the smart thinking behind that, to then get this, it just feels like a bit of a backward step. And I know it's only one game, and people will be saying, "Why is he getting so hyped up over one game?" It's just unnecessary. It's just completely and utterly unnecessary. Alex has said on here, the worry is they'll lose some neutral fans in attendance who won't want to / can't make two legs, so why bother going to one? Nick Muller has put on here, hi all, good to have you in the chat, mate. Thanks for joining in, Nick. We really appreciate you jumping on. Dean Cooper, bottom line is it's happening, and they will see how much it fails when low numbers attend. Imagine the fourth leg being 4-0. Would you then want to go to watch the second leg? That's again exactly it. Great point, Adam. It couldn't end up costing the club's money rather than making it. Paul has just said, let's make it 3 legs. Home leg, an away leg, and a neutral venue. Why the hell not? Let's just do it. Cup final over 2 legs and Norwich losing. Get this man a gin. Oh, Norwich fans have winded me up on Sunday. Something chronic. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. God, they were moany. Anyway, let's move on to the next talking point. We have got the news that Ransom Sports put out a statement the other day saying that fans cannot attend their home matches for the foreseeable. Came as a bit of a shock, considering most clubs in and around our area, around the local, non-league scene, are allowed to have fans at their games now. We're at that stage where we are still able to attend. I know further up the Pyramid and Premier League Championship, obviously we're still in that. We've had the trial run of 1,000 fans, etc., and that's kind of come to a grinding halt because of recent stuff. But we do have the news, as I said, the Ransoms put out a statement, and I'm just going to read it out to you guys on here. So they said the other day that when football was given the opportunity to have fans back at games, we all thought we were slowly returning to some sort of normality. For Ransom Sports, however, it is depressing to listen to Ipswich Borough Council instruct us that COVID-19 restrictions would remain our ground and that no spectators would be allowed to attend our home matches. As a club, we have complied with the government's guidance on the return to the recreational team sport and the updated guidance. We have a designated COVID officer. We have completed and published a risk assessment and action plan, and we have implemented track and trace. Despite all of this, the IBC remain adamant that there will be no supporters at our home games as they are our landlords. We have to abide by this. We can only say sorry to those who have followed Ransoms at our home fixtures, and we can only hope that one day you'll be allowed to return. Given the unpredictability of the virus and the council decision will undoubtedly have a serious impact on the club. Personally, I will leave it there, but thank everyone for their understanding and future compliance. So that was Ransom's statement during the week, mate. You were quite vocal about this on Twitter. I retweeted it, just thinking, right, we'll talk about it on the show. Let's just bring it up as a talking point, and hopefully something comes off the back of it. You took that one step further.
Yeah,
you went in, mate.
People talk
about me. People talk about me tonight being ranty. You went in.
We've got a platform here, so we may as well use it positively. Yeah. And in terms of a platform, I kind of mean a community of people that all seem to care about the same thing. And I don't feel like we'd be using that effectively if we didn't try and elevate things. And I just went straight to the council with a tweet and actually got a reply, which surprised me. But
Should we bring up on the screen? Should we bring up on the screen, mate? So this is what Adam tweeted out to them. So going to bed feeling a bit disheartened for the football community locally. Suffolk FA with crazy ideas about the Premier Cup final. Adam, what do you mean about the Premier Cup final? I don't think we've talked about that one yet. Ipswich Gov with terrible treatment of ransoms, and the FA deciding to defund futsal. 3 organisations, 3 silly decisions. Ipswich, to be fair to them, the government replied to you. We are currently working with Ransoms Football Club to ensure their risk assessments and procedures allow for a safe return of spectators and meet the relevant government and Football Association guidance. Once this is completed, we look forward to safely welcoming back spectators. Now, I suppose the main thing is that we had a response.
Yep.
Now, for ransoms, it may or may not help them. I don't know. I don't know what the latest is. I haven't seen anything online. I did check about 20 minutes before we went live, and I haven't seen any update from this. But why did you feel kind of compelled to kind of reach out and actually tag the council in this one? Because do you know what I mean? You could have quite easily just talked about it here with all of us lot.
I did it on a couple of posts. There was another post I put up as well. I think the problem that I've got with it is that a lot of pitches at that level are owned by councils and by third parties as such.
Yep.
And we're relying on them for the survival of the clubs. That bit of ticket money through the door, the bit of money spent at the bar, whatever, that's actually going to ensure that we can keep going.
Yeah.
And without it, we've already seen clubs fold in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see any more.
Yeah.
And I think if I can expand on it a bit as well, like this is where I'm going to get really ranty. And everyone in the chat tell me if I'm being a boring twat. Like
grab the popcorn, lads. Grab the popcorn.
So a video went out on Saturday night after a game of a team scoring a last-minute winner.
Oh God!
And everyone in the stands celebrating together and jumping on top of each other. Like, I'm not going to mention the club and stuff, but I got involved into a bit of argument on Twitter with it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you did.
And
you did.
The club retweeted the video of it, saying how good the win was. And I challenge, and someone else who's on the board of another club as a fixture secretary was going mad about it. I was like, no, we can't. It's our responsibility as fans to not let that happen, to make sure our clubs can survive and still have fans coming in.
Yeah.
And when you get a club retweet it and not think twice about what you're showing in your grounds, what are we to do? If everything gets shut down because they say, well, surely you can't social distance if that's what's happening, or you get a visit and you get a fine, you're screwed. And some of the responses I got were horrible. I
think, just to interrupt you on here, mate, we all saw and we all read the feedback from when #United were on TV. All of their fans were behind the ground and they got absolutely slaughtered for it online. They got absolutely destroyed by fans saying, you are ruining this for non-league football. That is completely irresponsible for you guys to be doing that. So we need to have some sort of consistency here, because it could quite easily be, let's just get on the back of # because of who they are. If you're going to be doing it as well, you've got to be prepared to receive the backlash as much as everyone, because you are right. Bigger picture is we need to have football continuing at this level of football.
Yeah, and it's us as spectators that are absolutely responsible for the behaviour, for going in a maximum group of 6 and then being 2 meters apart from the next group of 6, whatever it is. But the response I got was oh yeah, they all attend together anyway. It's well, I don't care. You can't have a support bubble of 50 just because they're all in a band together. That doesn't make any difference. So then I got accused of twisting a tweet into saying that they were of a support bubble. And it's and then I got told I was just getting on my high horse and judging a situation. And I didn't know if they were in their own groups of 4, 5 or 6. I don't care if they are. They're all on top of each other anyway when it happens. But it's really difficult to one day campaign and say, you need to sort this out. You're crushing the community. 2 days later, you've got a club promoting all their fans jumping all over each other when a last-minute winner is scored. I get the elation of scoring a last-minute winner, but as fans, we have to get the fact that we cannot support football in the same way we used to,
without
the rug being pulled from under our feet, and then whinge we can't watch football like we all were before.
100%.
We're completely responsible for making sure it carries on in the right way. And
Yeah.
I might be being a really, I said I'm not the COVID police, but the person that was actually really propagating the argument against me magically just deleted their entire thread of tweets after I said, like, in the position you hold, you shouldn't be advocating what it is, and everything went. But
yeah.
I don't know.
It's an interesting one. Your thoughts on this, guys? The decision is ridiculous. Ransoms have a decent amount of fans for SIL Club. They do, and that is what is really frustrating about it, is because, as Adam said, they need that income to support the club as a bigger picture. Is the IBC and Suffolk FA comparing notes, says Maverick UK. Barnard, they also have a very responsible committee who no doubt would ensure fan safety. It's such a shame. Do you know what I mean? It's an open area at Ransoms. There's not a huge amount of, well, there isn't any covering at all. People are not going to congregate all in one area around the pitch. Everyone's going to be spread out. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure there are things in place to make sure that people are not standing next to each other. I haven't been to Ransoms yet this season, so I can't comment, but I'm pretty sure that there would be some sort of things in place.
You only need to spray the ground, Jesus.
Yeah, definitely. Have IBC made the same statement for all of their venues?
No one else has said anything.
No, couldn't possibly comment. Borough Council decision, yet they open leisure centres to public, assume because it's revenue generating for them. Yeah, possibly, Bill. Possibly. Typical response. So Ransoms have all this in place already, so should be allowed spectators, surely. Well, you would hope the common sense will prevail at some point. At some point, and the more we highlight these kind of things, hopefully something will happen off the back of it. Maverick, in regards to your point about the video that was online, mate, he says it's called individual responsibility, and people need to take heed if they want to keep playing football.
Clubs need to be a bit more aware, though, of social media. Be careful what you post, because if you don't want people to question it, don't put videos up of everyone bundling on top of each other if you score a goal.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I do love a good bundle with a 90-minute winner, it's not the time or the place. No. Dean Cooper, again, it will be the people who say they love the game, fans ruining it for the rest. Bournevale reserves. Anyone else completely sick of hearing about COVID? Yes, I am completely sick and tired of hearing about it, mate. But the reality is, this is where we are. This is where we are as a society and as football fans. And unfortunately, do you know what I mean? We've all got to suck it up and talk about it, because it affects a lot of what we do. Dan Snell, good to see you in the chat, my man. Obviously, co-host from last week. Good to have you on there. COVID Marshall Adam, we need to get you like a sachet or something like Cartman did in South Park. We need to get you like a hallway monitor sachet.
I like how you picked like Cartman and South Park to be the person I could look like, though.
I only said it because I'm not going down that route. I'm not going down.
Co-host.
We'll talk after. Adam is absolutely spot on. Ben Moore, for me, they only allowed a few number of fans, but yet hashtag were allowed. I doubt it was 10,000. I think he means 1,000 fans in, and it's baffling. It really, really is. But I'm a fan of Ipswich, but all non-league football in Suffolk, and I hate not going to.
Allowed 1,000 fans in, surely.
I don't know. I'd have to look into the numbers on that one, mate. But hopefully, we will start seeing a bit of a response from Ipswich Gov. It's good that they've responded. Do you know what I mean? And I said it on a few weeks ago. We want to be acknowledged as people and, as a society. We just want to know that our voice and our opinions and our thoughts are being listened to. Will action be taking on it? We'll have to wait and see. But at least there's been some sort of acknowledgement, and we're not just being ignored, because the last thing you want is to tweet that out and nothing happens.
Yeah.
We talk about it and nothing happens. At least there's some sort of acknowledgement. And that's the first step. Hopefully something will come off the back of it. We don't know. We shall have to wait and see. I know you meant 1,000, mate. I was just being pedantic. Dan Snell, hashtag would have been maximum 300 supporters if all ticket, then someone would have been given 10% of that. See, this man knows his stuff. He's on the ball once again. Right, those are the talking points from this week. Literally on the hour mark, on the dot, as we move on to the next portion of the show, which is the results. But before we do that, I do want to make you guys aware of the Super Six. You guys have been all over this. You guys are absolutely loving the Super Six, and I am going to get the link for this week's fixtures into the comment section. So if you bear with me, it should be posted now.
Super Six is going so well at the moment, like so good. Like everyone's taken to it really well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that played it the first week playing it again. We have got at the minute a total of 90 people in.
Wow.
So
really,
90 people have in total over the 2 weeks have actually got on it. I've had a few funny conversations with people because I've got a couple of people I know that missed the second week, but then when I told them that someone that they know did it both weeks and is then streaking ahead of them, you then get that competitive edge. So it's quite it's good. I think we're going to have that coming, that competitive side.
Definitely.
Got a few people, like at the minute we've got Stuart Spreadbridge in first place.
Really? Stuart's winning?
Yeah, total of 12 points. 7 points from week 1, 5 points from week 2. I'll be honest, points wise, no one did brilliant for week 2 because there were some very, very odd results. I think the max score was 6.
Okay.
Week 2. We did have some zeros as well this week. Just a few.
Was I one of them?
No, you weren't actually. No
result. That's fine then. That's fine. Just to clarify, for all of those who are wondering about the Super Six, basically what it is that we have the link you see there is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. The link is now available for you guys to go and click on. We want you to predict the results from the 6 games that are up on the screen every single week. The link will be available up until the Saturday afternoon before the games kick off. So we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, and it's all added up towards the end of the season. And we're going to pick. Obviously, the winner is going to get some sort of prize. We don't know. What the prize is yet, but we will talk more to the winner as we get. As we get towards it. But what you do, the way it works is that you get 1 point for a correct result, and you get 3 points for the correct scoreline.
Yeah.
And obviously this week we had the Hawley versus Henley game in last week's prediction, which unfortunately was postponed. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But that was one of the Super Six games we had. So maybe that's the reason why there are some lower.
No one got the correct result on the Needham game.
Right.
Because that was 4-2. Literally everyone went for 2-1 Needham and it was 4-2. Swaffham surprised a few people.
Yeah.
And AFC Your Shirts were beaten by Somersham, which is another surprise result.
Yes.
So we had a good range of surprise results in there. So it meant everyone scored fairly evenly.
Right.
But those that the person who won last week, Tommy Smith, he only got 1 point this week, but he got 9 last week, so he still sits in second.
Right. Okay.
So second place is occupied by Tony Stone, Tommy Smith, Gavin, Shane Cauldron from Witten. I'm sure he's going to love the fact that he's in second place on that.
100% he will.
And Rob Linnett. And third place is occupied by Alex Eggleton and Ben Froud. Okay. What I'm going to do, because I've been away on holiday, I didn't have time. This took me quite a while to actually order and sort out last night, but it's all done now. So I'll actually get a graphic with a full league table. I'm thinking about putting people into mini leagues as to where they are after a little while, but it's going to get difficult as more people come on board. But I'm going to have a look at it. But this week, sort of some key point scorers, they're the ones that have been pushed up into second place. But at least 6 points for both Rob Linnett and Alex Eggleton. Sort of the real successes out of the week.
Right.
And we had a couple of people that did it for the first time round. Nick Pope did it, got 5.
Nice one. Good score.
Good score to get you started off on.
Yeah.
And Sean Watson, 5 this week, 3 last week's on 8. That puts him into 11th place. James, I expect you want to know where you are, don't you?
Yes and no, because we're live.
You're in 15th place, James.
Oh, that is absolutely shocking.
Not as shocking as where I am.
I'm above you.
Yeah, I'm 65th.
Get in.
Yes, 65th place for me.
Okay. Alex is in the chat and he's wondering whereabouts he is.
It depends what he's put himself in as.
And Ben Moore is also asking how he did as well. We're not going to reveal everyone because we could be here all night, but let's just get those 2 guys out of the way if you know where they are, Adam.
What's Alex's surname? It's Muck, wasn't it? He is 20th.
Oh.
And Ben, unfortunately, was one of the 0-point scorers this week.
Oh, Ben. You got to redeem yourself. But yeah, if you guys want to get involved in that, Super Six, it's all a bit of fun. It's all for a bit of good humour. I love the fact that Stuart is top of the league. That is just absolutely brilliant. I love that. I don't know why, but that's just making me smile. That's really making me smile that Stuart's top. I love it. Absolutely love it. But your fixtures this week, as you can see on the screen, Bury Town versus Waltham Abbey, Sneedham versus Lowestoft, which is a good derby in the Southern League. God, that's an absolutely tasty fixture. Felixstowe versus Coggeshall, God Manchester versus Swaffham. I promise we will get rid of Swaffham next time around. They won't be in it, but it just looked too good of a fiction just to not talk about. Henley versus Halesworth, which as Bourne Vale said on here, will be a great game. Henley for me, though. Get your predictions in, mate. Get your predictions in. And Kesgrave, Kestrels versus Laxfield is the final game. Again, click the link, enter it in. It's all for a bit of fun. Let's just have a bit of a laugh with it.
Is the link not working? Oh, no, the link is working. We're good. We've got 9 responses in already. Off you go, boy. Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Connor Ellis, I will always go really random, hoping they come in. Just like
you're middle of the pack, Connor.
There you go. If you actually take it seriously, Connor, you might be near the top. Alex Eggleton has said awaiting 0 points this coming week. I will do soon when the link works. The link does work. I think it's the Facebook link that we're having a few difficulties with.
Just copy and paste it into your browser.
Yeah, there you go, mate. There you go. Spreads knows his stuff. He really does. Dean says someone needs to snap him up as a manager. Yeah, really do. The fact that he's not managing anybody at the moment is criminal. But yeah, that's the Super Six. I absolutely love that. I just think it's such a good part of the show. I really do.
So it's been good fun. It doesn't take too long to sort out. Just sort of 3 hours of my Sunday night, really.
Not much at all, really. Then
I'm absolutely loving life doing that,
mate. When you're editing a match day experience and it's taking you 7 hours, don't even dare complain to me.
Don't talk to me about editing, James. Do not talk to me about editing. I'm off the back of a season where I used to do 20-hour edits every week, mate.
Not anymore, though. Not anymore.
No.
You're with me now, mate. No need. You don't have to do that stuff with me. That's fine. Michael just said, please tell me I'm above Connor. Michael, we'll let you know on Twitter, mate. We'll have to.
I'll send your DM.
We'll let you know. Connor, hopefully not. Right, let's go into the results from this weekend. There has been some absolutely mammoth results across Suffolk. It has been absolutely just the SIL in particular. I can't wait to try and dissect that. And this is where I'm going to get Alex back in on the screen in a few moments. So we had at the beginning of the week, which seems like an absolute lifetime ago, we had the FA Cup qualifying first round results. So I'm just going to read out a couple of those to you. So we had Hitching beating Needham 3-0, which was on the Monday night. We were keeping an eye on that score as the live stream was going on, but really disappointed for Needham to go out in the fashion that they did. I think they would have loved a cup run, but it is what it is. Brantham Athletic picking up a very good point against St Ives Town. Bury Town 2-1 against Brightlingsea. Cambridge and Stowmarket playing out a 1-1 draw, with Cambridge winning 4-2 on penalties. Coggeshall losing to Stansted. And if Ground Hopping Mick is in the chat, he's going to love that because he's a massive Stansted follower. He absolutely loves them. Dereham 0, Canvey Island 2, Ely 1, Biggleswade 2, Haverhill Rovers 0, Malden and Tiptree 4. And then the next page on here, we got Kings Langley 1, all against FC Clacton. Kings Langley winning 4-2 on penalty, so another 4-2 penalty shootout. Leiston 5, Biggleswade 1, Long Melford 1, Cheshunt 3, Stamford 4, AFC Sudbury 0, and Lowestoft 2, Aveley 3. Adam, very quickly, your kind of standout fixture from that one. Don't say Stowmarket, be original, mate.
No, the Stowmarket one's not standout. It's, they went the length, but it's all about Brantham, I think. The last team in the furlough non-prem into the next round. So in these times, getting a little cup run in the FA Cup, earning your club a bit of money, absolutely awesome. Really, really good.
Yeah.
But I was actually quite encouraged by how so many of these games were close between teams with a bit of a gap between.
Yeah.
Like Bury beating Brightlingsea Regent, great result. Like, absolutely fine. Normally I'd say that's the one because that's brilliant for Bury, but for me, Brantham have got the edge on there. Like, also beating a team two divisions higher. I think it's great.
Yeah, representing the furlough none incredibly well. Well done to the guys over at Brantham. Connor says whoever lost between Stowe and Cambridge would feel hard done by. It was a very even match. Coggeshall will be disappointed with that. Doesn't Mick love Stanway? I think he does. If Ground Up and Mick, if you are in the chat, mate, let us know. Let us know.
It's Stansted. It's G-Man that's all over Stanway.
That's the one. That's all. Did he say Stan? Yeah, that is. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. So we do have the second round of fixtures this weekend coming up. So it's Brantham. They get the tie. They are at home, which is a very, very good result for them against Aveley. Bury Town are also at home against Waltham Abbey, and Leighton Town at home against Leiston. I'm not going to go through those fixtures and ask you if you stand out one. All I think we need to say is we wish Leiston, we wish Bury, and we wish Brantham all the best of luck in the next round, lads. Go and smash it. Represent the Suffolk flag with pride, my friends. The FA Trophy first qualifying round, we did see a couple of results from there, which is why in the Isthmian North, there wasn't too many of our guys representing the league campaign. We saw Sudbury losing to Barking 2-1, Felixstowe picking up a very good win against Great Wakeham Rovers, and Bury Town also winning. I suppose really the only disappointment within there is the Sudbury scoreline.
More about Felixstowe. It's the first ever win they've had in that competition in the club's history.
Was it?
Yeah, so a massive result for them. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely love to see that. Bournevale, yes, it is the G-Man I was thinking about. Early doors marathon, not a sprint, beginner's luck, cliche after Gale cliche.
Yeah, cliche, brilliant.
Saw Leighton 2 weeks ago. Leiston won't find that an easy match, obviously referring to the FA Cup on there. And off to Leighton for my first away day. Can't wait. I really enjoy it. Enjoy it, Hannah. This is what non-league football's about, following the team you're closely associated with. So I hope you enjoy it. Really, really do. Let's get into the Southern League. I suppose our standout results from our guys in this area is the fact that Leiston lost 4-1 to Colville Town. Yeah. Lowestoft is a 0-0 draw. Not really a huge amount to report from that, but Needham, as we've briefly talked about, with a 4-2 win against Stratford Town. Bit of a slow start from Leiston in the league. That's now 2 defeats for them. Are we worried, or do we just think it's a bit of gelling and adapting period for them?
I don't think Leiston are going to be a top half team anyway.
Right.
It's a very, very young squad. And I think there'll be a few games where it does look like they've had it handed to them a bit. But at the end of the day, they'll come. There's a few new players there. They'll come together. I don't have any doubt about it whatsoever. Colville aren't a bad side either. Like I think I can remember Drew writing a report for me like before about Needham playing them, and they were decent then.
Yeah.
So no major concerns. Only a couple of games in. I think like out of all of it, again, like Needham showing that signing of Ben Folkes is absolutely inspired.
Mm-hmm.
He got player of the day or whatever they're calling it in that thing now as well. I think he's going to make all the difference there. So that's what I'd be keeping an eye on. To be honest, I'm interested to see how this league plays out this year.
Yeah, 100%. There are some midweek fixtures in this division, as you can probably see on the screen now. There's only 2 fixtures on the Saturday, which is the local derby in our area, Needham versus Lowestoft. So we can't wait to see the result of that. But during the week, I suppose again our local fixtures is that Leiston are away to Biggleswade Town on Tuesday night, and we've also got Needham at home against Royston Town, and then Lowestoft are at home against. I'm not going to say the enemy of the program, but a lot of people don't like him, Peterborough Sports, in the comment section. But again, Needham and Lowestoft have had good starts, 4 points from their 6 games. We just want to see Leiston off. We just want to see them get a win and kickstart their campaign. Moving on to the Isthmian North. Again, none of our teams really involved in this, in the weekend's action, other than I suppose DeeJam, if we want to consider them as a close neighbour. But they lost.
Good result for Coggeshall though.
Yeah.
Like they did all right last season. But that's the way to get going again. 2-0 against Heybridge, fairly strong team. So yeah, that's it. Midweek fixtures from this, we do see some of our local guys back in action again. It's Bury versus Whittam Town. We've got Felixstowe versus AFC Sudbury, which is that's just such a tasty fixture to look at. Yeah. And then you can see the other fixtures within the league. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Felixstowe and Sudbury play that game out. And the Saturday fixtures, we've got Sudbury versus Holbridge Sports, Felixstowe versus Coggeshall Town. And then again, I suppose really from our, DeeJam versus Heybridge Swifts on the weekend. Alex, up the island. I'm guessing you're referring to Canvey Island on their win. Be interesting to see how Whittam get on, because I think they had a horrific defeat on that first game.
They did. It was 8-0, wasn't it? From what I remember.
Histon obviously fairly recently out of the furlough none, so. Mm-hmm. Be interested to have a review of that on Monday, see how that goes. Yeah,
100%. Let's move into the furlough none. This is where things start to heat up in our comment section. If you're involved in the furlough none, let us know your thoughts on these results in the comment section. Want to get your guys' thoughts up on the screen. So during the week, we saw Norwich United beating Kirkley and Pakefield 2-1. Walsham Le Willows picking up a 1-0 victory against Thetford. Another defeat for the guys at Thetford.
Just 2 talking points there, really. Kirkley and Pakefield are not unbeatable, despite what everyone says early season. They went 3 from 3, and everyone was panicking, wondering what on earth had happened to Kirkley and Pakefield. Or Norwich ended that. Thetford, my word, they're in deep trouble.
They are remaining surprisingly upbeat on social media, though. They feel that a result is only around the corner, and I really hope they can start pulling a result out from somewhere, because I don't want to say I'm worried about them because it's such an early point of the season, but you can't allow this run to continue to go. But hopefully it will click soon.
Goals though, James. You say a result being around the corner, but I don't think they've scored that many.
But sometimes that just takes time for a new team, new team, new style, new way of playing. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to gel. It's not as quick for some teams as it is for others. Do you know what I mean? I hope that they can start turning that around, because I don't want them to get too far adrift and then they're playing catch up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I want to see as competitive of a showing as
next 4 weeks are massive for them, aren't they? Really?
Drew, in regards to Colville, he says what you're talking about earlier are a very good side, tough place to go when we've gone there. You can see why Kings Lynn were after Foxy, who you mentioned about a moment ago. Dan saying Thetford showed enough at Walsham to make me think that they'll be fine this season. Obviously, Dan has gone to see them, so he knows a bit more about how they play than what we do on that one. But the weekend results. We saw Brantham 2, Galston 1, Ely 0, Norwich United 1, Clacton 3, Thetford 2, Kirkley and Stanway playing out a 3-3 draw. Stanway can just not get a win this season. Needham 2, Hadley 1, Stowmarket and Gold Manchester playing out a 2-2 draw with a very, very late equaliser for Stowmarket. They will consider themselves very fortunate to get that point. Swaffham 1-0 against Long Melford. Swaffham are finally up and running this season. Good to see after a tough start to the campaign. Whitton 4, Haverhill Rovers 0. They got the win on James Bluefield's birthday. Love it. Good to see those guys responding to that. Woodbridge 1-1 with Mildenhall and Wroxham 2, Walsham, Le Willows 1. Adam, standout fixture result from that weekend. I'm looking at Swaffham. I think that's an impressive win. It's good to get them off. I've said it. I think it's nice to see them up and running. I
think you're right. Again, like last time I was on here, I was a bit worried for them. Like I'd team I rate. Melford will be disappointed though, because themselves they're not a bad side. The one I'm surprised at, if anything, I don't know if I should be surprised, but Woodbridge 1, Mildenhall 1. Woodbridge have got off to quite a bad start. Mildenhall will be wanting to aim top 6. It's probably not a result I expected. So maybe Woodbridge are turning the corner and starting to get themselves sorted out, because Woodbridge should be.
We hope so. We hope so.
Yeah, I really do. Like, it seems to have been a bit unsettled, but Brantham are going quite well, really, and Galston, who I repetitively back, have obviously fallen there. But the signing that Galston made this weekend is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. Just for everyone's context in the comment section, who have Galston signed? Reveal it.
I can't remember his flipping name now.
Chris Henderson, mate. Come on.
I was flicking on my phone, and Chris Henderson's gone there. Yeah, from Kings Lynn, right? So
that's a massive, massive, massive statement. I love it. Absolutely love that signing.
I watched him at Stowe and friendly, and he just made everything happen.
Yeah,
I described him to people as like a non-league cheat code. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, Galston may have had a few bumps in the road, but they're going to be top half.
Yeah. Well, we'll see as it goes on. Connor says Stowmarket first half was horrendous. Failed to adjust to conditions. Second half was a lot better. Michael Crowfer says, however, Stowe got a point from that game. I don't know. Yeah, it was Henderson. Henderson will do absolute bits of Galston. I can't wait to see him in action. I really, really can't. I think it's an amazing signing for them. Michael Crowfer, Stowe got better when the 2 new subs came on, allowed Seb and Sweeney to do what they do best, which is attacking their defence. Good report from that one. Really appreciate that comment. Midweek action. Now, you guys seem to like this, and I get quite nice feedback about this. The form guide for each team is alongside each club for the fixtures that we do. Now, as of next week, we will be presenting league tables. I just felt that it was good to get the first month up and running without having league tables on there, because I don't get people who look at league tables this early on in the season. But we've had 5 games under our belt, and I think now is the right time to start looking at some league tables as we start getting to the point where the first set of results are falling off the form, if you see what I mean. So as of next week, we will be presenting you guys with league tables, but let's have a look at some of these fixtures on here, mate. Wroxham, Kirkley and Patefield looks like a very tasty game on paper. Galston versus Norwich United does. Thetford are at home against Mildenhall. They need to start getting some wins from somewhere. 5 defeats in a row is that's not a good start. What game are you looking at and thinking that could be a very tasty game?
Haverhill Stanway.
Yeah, completely left field. Love it. Why?
Yeah. Stanway rapidly need to get a win under their belts. Haverhill have just got absolutely battered by Witten.
Mm-hmm.
What a heck of a result that is, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think it could be Stanway's chance to get up and running.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Haverhill's form, they haven't really got going. They've done all right in the Cups, but in the league, they haven't got going at all.
Yeah.
Stanway are going to be looking for a way out of their form. I think that could be the one. Haverhill away is quite a difficult place to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing I would say about it. But yeah, that's where I'd be interested. I will probably be at Stowmarket, I think. So I'm interested to go and see that like later in the week. But in the midweek, that's the one I'd be. Yeah.
Definitely. So we've got a few more of your comments on here. Dan Snell saying it's a good win for Needham beating Hadley. Looking forward to seeing them at Walsham on Wednesday. That's the game that Dan is off to. Vinny Ford, I bet Thetford's fans and players don't like your form cut.
Well, as I said earlier on, I've seen another. I think Thetford are going to be disappointed. Like you've made the point, they think there's a win around the corner. I've seen someone from Thetford think that they could make top 6 and state it on a podcast. So I bet they don't like it, but
it is what it is. I think Conor Ellis says, I think Thetford versus Mildenhall. Thetford need to kickstart the season. They really do, mate. Luke Riley, welcome to the show, mate. Late to the party, missed much? No, not really, mate. No, it's been relatively quiet, to be honest with you, Luke. No real talking points, no controversy. I don't think we'll be in trouble with any authorities now. Honestly, mate, go back and check this. Go back and check the episodes. When we finish, you'll want to watch the stuff at the beginning. I guarantee it, mate. I really, really do. So let's go on to the weekend's action. Again, some very, very good fixtures in there. You know what I was talking about earlier with some teams having played only a few games? Look at Newmarket. They've only played 2 league games this season.
Yeah.
Because of how much cup competition they're going on, we've already started to see teams falling behind in terms of league, which is why I think the decision, I'm not going to go down it again, but I think the decision
lost the game because of COVID as well, didn't they?
They did, but I think it's the right decision. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the right decision. But I think looking at things on paper, there's some good games in there. There's some really good games. Hadley versus Woodbridge is kind of jumping out at me because of the fact that Hadley have had a very good start to the season. They got that defeat last time out. But as you said, Woodbridge getting that draw, they've stopped the rot. Let's build on it now. Let's see what you're capable of.
Like very conditionally, Stowmarket game has enormous significance. Even against Ely. If Stowmarket win or draw against Woodbridge, someone's already put in the comments, I think Woodbridge might get the rough end of the stick. I'm absolutely backing you on that. I think they will do. After like the last couple of performances, I think there's going to be words said, and I think that you'll see a different side play Woodbridge. If Stowe win or draw against Ely, they equal the record for the most games unbeaten in the league.
Right.
So the significance of that game is huge. So that's what I'll be going along to have a look at, I think. But other than that game, if I don't keep picking my local team, there's some tough ones there. I think Norwich Newmarket will be an amazing game, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a good shout. And we all know what Newmarket are like from away from home. So that's going to be a very, very tough game for those guys. Ben Moore has said Wroxham versus Kirkley and Woodbridge versus Stowe as his standout games from that one. Let's move.
The fact that Newmarket have just signed Dave Cowley.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
So
very good signing.
Ridiculous signing. So, I mean, he wasn't at Walthamstow or wherever he went for very long, like a month, but that's by the by. Can
you imagine him playing on that surface that they have at home?
Well, I saw him play on that surface at home last season. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's going to be.
Very good.
He's going to be incredible. I need to get myself down to Newmarket when he's playing. Furlough None North. Let's move into that division. So some of the midweek games that we saw, Ipswich picking up a very good 5-2 victory against Framlingham. Marchtown 1, Lakenheath 2, Needham Reserves and Barnard playing at a 2-2 draw. Norwich CBS and Mulbarton was postponed, but luckily we do have a negative return on that test for COVID. So, very good news from that one. But precautions and safety comes first. The fixture was postponed as a result. But Great Yarmouth and Sheringham also was postponed. And unfortunately, there was a positive test. So we send out all of our best to the person at Great Yarmouth who was affected by that. Hopefully you recover as quickly as possible. I suppose really the big talking point is the Ipswich Wanderers sending out a statement to the rest of the league that they mean business this time around. That's a very good win. Oh, I can't hear Adam, so I'm not entirely sure if he's. I
was just saying that.
There he is.
Sorry, like Ipswich Wanderers have got players like Matt Blake, for example. Like they are too good for the level, and they are bossing it. But can they keep hold of all of those players through the season? Ipswich Wanderers have started strong in the past and then fell away a little bit.
I think they had a very similar start last season, didn't they? If I remember correctly.
Last season. So I want to be proven wrong. I just want them to get into the Prem, but I don't know.
Yeah. Weekend results. We had Fakenham and Ipswich playing at a 1-1 draw. Framlingham 2, Wisbech 1, Haverhill 1, Debenham 2. So good to see Debenham getting a win. They've had a very tough start to the season, but they are off and running for their season. Kings Lynn and AFC Sudbury's reserves playing out a 3-4 spectacle. That's a great game of football from two reserve sides. Lakenheath 4, Great Yarmouth 0, Leiston Reserves 4, Barnard 2, Mulbarton absolutely demolishing Needham Marker Reserve 7-0. Obviously, the Norwich, CBS and Downham and Sheringham disc games were both postponed. There's a lot to dissect from those results. I'm gonna, despite the scoreline and it's not as big as some of the other ones, I'm gonna say Debenham picking up their first win. That's massive. That's a massive confidence booster. It just stops that tough start to the season and just gives your guys a bit of a confidence boost, a bit of an injection in the arm to say, yeah, let's now kick on and really get going at this season. That's a big win for them.
Yeah, Lakenheath obviously a strong team, but no one in the Super Six basically had them down to win 4-0 against Yarmouth. And I actually had Yarmouth down for a win. I thought they might nick a 2-1. They've been doing all right. I was surprised by that, if anything, and faking and proving that Wanderers won't have it all their own way and they can't just rely on Blake just to come into his own in the second half and bang 3 goals like he did the other day. They've got to be on it for the whole game.
Yeah, definitely.
Not an ideal for them.
Ben Moore said there is no way that Matt Blake will be there next year. Do you know what? If they get promoted, he seems to be enjoying himself over there, so I wouldn't entirely rule it out. I think he could well be there next year. Apparently, Framlingham were 1-0 up at half time. Is that now, or do you mean in? Are they playing now? I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Sean, up the Hornets. Dan, much needed win for Debenham. Again, I think it's a massive win. Yeah. Wanderers will be very good players and management. I agree with you on that one. Midweek fixtures from the Furlough None, Debenham versus Ipswich Wanderers, which as an exclusive is the game that I am off to tomorrow for the match day experience. Debenham versus Ipswich will be on the channel Wednesday morning, afternoon, not entirely sure.
You put some pressure on yourself, you do, boy.
I like to get the match day experiences out for a certain time, and if that that's what the people want, I deliver what the people want. But that is the game I'm off to: Debenham versus Ipswich. And I think now that Debenham have got that win, that just sets this game up very nicely. Because if they'd gone into this as another defeat, I think it would have been a very much a one-sided game. But I don't know. I don't know. Debenham are a team that everyone predicted to do quite well before a ball was kicked. So we'll see. But Distown versus Norwich CBS, Leiston Reserves versus Fram. AFC Sudbury Reserves and Haverhill going against each other, and Wids Beach, who have lost every single game this season. They really need to start picking up a win from somewhere against Kings Lynn Town Reserves. Adam, very quickly, I think you're still coming along with me tomorrow night, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good man. Good man.
I mean, it's sad to say Wiz Beach have picked up where they left off last season, really. Not much seems to have changed there. I want Norwich CBS to get up and running.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what's happening there. I've got no idea whatsoever. So I'm excited for tomorrow, though.
Yeah, should be a good game. Lucas said it was cold and windy up at Fakenham on Saturday. Bournevale Reserve saying Matt Blake has been trolling people on Twitter after every game and it's been brilliant. Alex, you're missing our draw. Yeah, of course I did. Just to let everybody know that the game that was postponed, abandoned rather, due to the injury, has been declared by the league as a draw. So common sense prevails. That will be in the form guide next week, Alex. I can assure you of that. Dan, see you boys at Devon. Dan's going to be there. Love it. Get
the crew together.
100%. Have the co-hosts going off against each other. That'll make for a match day experience, won't it? Love it.
Versus Logan Paul all over again.
And then the weekend's results, fixtures rather: Barnard versus Fakenham, Debenham versus Lakenheath, Diss versus AFC Sudbury Reserves, Downham versus Sheringham, Yarmouth versus Fram, Ipswich Wanderers versus Kings Lynn Reserves, March versus Mulbarton, and Wids Beach versus Norwich CBS. March versus Mulbarton is my standout game from that.
Norwich's guaranteed first win of the season is there, hopefully. I know that's a bit harsh, but
a bit harsh. Did you see Alex's reaction in the green room when you said that?
I can't see him.
Jesus.
I'll speak. I'm not afraid to speak my mind a bit. But if Wiz Beach carry on the way they are with the goal difference as it is, I cannot see past Norwich actually finally getting a win. The games that actually truly stand out on that one though, I think Debenham are going to have a big test, obviously, against Lakenheath.
Mm-hmm.
Resilience is going to be tested there.
That's a tough week, Ipswich and Lakenheath in the same week. That's a real test. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be, like I say, it's a good test of resilience. But I think Great Yarmouth and Framlingham, that'll be a good game. I'd expect Yarmouth to win it. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, really, really well. See you tomorrow. Apparently, Dean's going to the game as well, as is Michael Crowfoot. I'm at Debenham tomorrow with Ellis. Everyone's picking up the same vibes as us. I love it. Can't wait for Wednesday's video, lads. Wanderers should be a good football side. I can't wait to see what kind of changes they've made compared to when we saw him at the beginning obviously in the FA Cup against Ipswich, against Whittam rather. Yeah, I can't wait to see what those guys have been doing. Right, SIL time. This is where the chat goes absolutely berserk. Senior results. Wow, we had some big talking points this weekend. Bournevale 2, Achilles 0. Capel Plough 1-1 against Westerfield United. Crane Sports 0, Old Newton 1. That result blows this league wide open. And I know that might be an exaggeration to a lot of people, but that result is going to give so many teams confidence that they can go and do that to Cranes. Now, I rate Crane. They're an absolutely unbelievable side. They are absolutely incredible. The unbeaten run that those guys had, it's just been insane. It really has. But
50 days or something stupid.
It was a long time. But that win for Old Newton, that could be massive. That could be absolutely huge. And for Old Newton, obviously they had a shaky start in their opening game. That just gets them back up and running and really, really shows them what they're capable of. But they handled the conditions well. It was tough out there on Saturday for a lot of teams. It was not the nicest of weathers, but that's a big result. East Burgolt 1, Claydon 2. Obviously, the Hawley versus Henley game was postponed, and we all saw the pictures that were out online. And I hope that anybody from Hawley is in the chat at the moment. Seriously, if you guys need any help with crowdfunding, if you need any support whatsoever, please contact me and I will do whatever it is I can to help put something towards the campaign, even if it's just a few quid here and there, just help you guys out, because I don't know if you saw the pictures, Adam. There was a lot of damage from the gale force winds that we had the other night, and hopefully it's not as bad as what the pictures make out, but you just never like to see it. So if you guys need any support, please reach out to me and let me know, and I will do whatever it is I can to help promote that campaign. Ransoms 0, Bilderston 3. Everyone in the chat last week was saying, what is going on with Bilderston? Well, they've responded. They have responded big time. A 3-0 victory away from home just shuts everyone up. That's all they need to do. And I've said, I we'll talk about it in a bit. Trimley 3, Leiston St Margaret's 0 rounds up the results from the weekend. Let's get your thoughts up on the comments here. Daniel Barnard, be careful of the bubble, boys. We're at 6,
mate. We should be all right.
Yeah. Look, if it's good enough for some teams to post on social media, then I'm sure it'll be fine for all of us. I'm joking. Of course, we are going to remain socially distant. Don't worry about it. Bourneville won the IP2 Cooper Brothers Derby. Get in. Macca with his newt emoji. Love it. Fantastic result for Macca and the lads. Completely agree with you, Ben. That's a great result. East Burgolt missed a penalty in the 90th minute save, which could have been a 2-2 result there. Absolutely love that from Claydon goalkeeper. Awesome. Bourneville Barmy Army, says Paul. I can never pronounce his name. Sarab Green Eyes, Raw best player in the league by a mile, followed by Frankie Millardo up the Vale. We worked hard for that win, says Macca. Cranes didn't stop coming. Great defensive display. I need to watch the highlights of that game, actually. It's on my to-do list. Crane do some absolutely amazing work with their video highlights. If you guys don't subscribe to them, go over to their YouTube channel and watch their videos. I need to watch that after we finish it tonight before I go to bed. Old Newton, Ben said, up the Newts, Bilderston finally win. Wickham Market and Trimley both win. We'll get into the Wickham result in a bit, mate. Dean Cooper, Henley will struggle like most this season away to Halesworth. They are a good side and have everything in place for bigger things. Halesworth will be the side chasing top spot in the SIL Senior. That's a big comment there from Dean. Big comment. Ransom struggling this year. I don't know if they're struggling. I don't know if they are struggling. I think that from what I've seen and with the reports I've read, I think there's a few injuries maybe there that they've got some players that need to come back. But, to say they're struggling, I don't know if I agree with that, Paul. But, as I said, I really, you guys are entitled to get your thoughts and opinions in, to keep those thoughts coming in the comment section. Bart bagged the hat-trick. Bilderson may not have started well, but he has. Henley are at home to Halesworth on there. Matt, hashtag Trimley Red Devils. Thank you. James says Hawley FC, hoping we should be okay. Again, just let us know. That's all I say. Just let us know and we'll do what we can. Trimley are not messing around. They really aren't. They've started the season fantastically well. Syrup is Paris. Okay. That makes more sense. It's Paris backwards. He's playing full Bourneville captain. Anyway, can I give a shout out to our reserves on the result? Up the Hawley. Love it. Alex, let's get you in on the chat as well. I'll start off with yourself, Adam, before we ask Alex his opinion. Your standout result, can you really look beyond Old Newton, or are we going to give the shout out to Bilderson? What do you reckon?
Well, those are the two. I can't really look beyond Old Newton, but that's partly because of what Cranes have achieved to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what? Like, you still have to recognise what Cranes have achieved.
Yeah,
and they may have lost, but what's gone before it is absolutely insane.
Yep.
Like,
they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back 100%. That they
won't. They will, but
yeah.
Trimley are going. But are we going to have a discussion that says that we're a bit concerned for Leicester and St Margaret's?
We can do, because they'll probably win next week. Now that we talk about it.
Yeah, I think that is it. But I don't know. Maybe they've just had some tough games to start with, like in terms of how things have gone. But yeah, you know, I think there's some big results in that league, and I can't look beyond what Old Newton have achieved, because it sends a message out to the whole league that, you know, before every game, like, Cranes have got a thing where they tweet out how long they've been unbeaten for, and they're proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
That counter goes down to 0 now.
Yeah, definitely does. Alex, let's get your thoughts on the results.
Yeah, I'd agree. The two standout ones would be the Cranes Old Newton and Ransom's and Bilston. Ransom's, I don't think are going to struggle this season. You know, I was there last season with the reserves. I can see what Ben wants to do with the side and what he wants to achieve. So I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be ongoing every week. He's got a lot of youth in there. As I say, this weekend, I think 3 of the lads that were with me last season were playing first team this weekend, which is really good to see.
Yeah.
And that's what Ben wants to promote there, as well as the youth, give them a chance. But as I say, with the Cranes one, it's one of those ones. It's how they respond, I think.
Yeah.
It could be so many times where it could be like a 1-0 defeat this week, and then next week they'll go out and thump someone 10-0. Whoever's playing them next week, obviously I haven't seen the fixtures yet for next week, so whoever's playing them next week may be going into that one like, how are they going to respond to it?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Old Newton.
But no, to be honest, the senior league this season, from what I can see, I don't know. It's still too early to tell. You know, if you go by the results at the moment, it's going to be a close season, but you're not going to know until halfway through, really.
No. Very, very true.
You know, Trimley Red Devils is a very hard place to go to. And win. It's so difficult. And Hawley, I can't remember what their results have been for the last couple of weeks. But then
I'll bring it up on the fixtures in the next screen for you, mate. But Dean, you've taken the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say about Westerfield. It's great to see them collecting points. I don't want to see a situation where we have teams who are struggling at the bottom just to field team, let alone try and pick up any results. So to continue to see them doing well and collecting points is very, very pleasing to see. Bournevale says Senior League. I still think it will be between Queens and Henley, with Claydon close behind them. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see. There's a lot of teams. I reckon there's at least 6 teams that could easily say we're in with a chance this year.
At the moment, I think there is.
Yeah,
at the moment, I think there is. It's, as I say, I can be a little bit biased when it comes to Henley. You know, we've got a very, very strong first team. Even with the players that have come in this season for them. They've had a tough few games. Obviously, they had Wanderers in the Cup the other week as well, which you know, they played very well against them, pushed them. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna. You're not gonna really know until halfway through, really, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Let's bring up the form guides and the fixtures for next weekend. So we've got Achilles versus Ransom Sports, Bennell versus Hawley, Bilderston versus East Bergholt, Claydon versus Capel Plough, Henley versus Halesworth, which looks to be an absolutely amazing game on paper. That looks to be the standout one. Leiston versus Bournevale, Trimley versus Cops, who are going to want to get their season up and running, and no harder place to go to at the moment. and then Trimley, and Westerfield versus Crane. So there you go. Crane's next fixture is away to Westerfield, who have started the season quite well. Do you know what I mean? 4 points from 3 games is a very good return. Adam, I mean, this league, I love it. I don't really know what else to say. There's some amazing fixtures in this league.
This week seems to brew like the perfect storm of fixtures.
Yep.
Like Westerfield, like with their little mini bounce back after last season, playing Cranes this week is amazing. Like you say, the way results have gone so far, with Henley now facing up against Halesworth, like
that's going to be
it's not going to be a 0-0 draw, don't you? You know what I mean? There's good stuff there. Obviously, I think Achilles are going to want to get up and running, and Ransoms might be a good one for them to play.
Yeah.
Like that'll provide a good fixture, I think.
Yeah,
both teams will be really battling. Is sort of what I'm meaning from that. Like I think a really good competitive game there. Yeah,
Alex. I mean, what else is there to say? It's just a mental league, isn't it? There's nothing.
It is, but this is what we love, though. This is what we
100%.
love. It's, you know, as I say, the Achilles Ransoms. Obviously, I know Dean over there, and you know he's come in and you know hopefully settle the ship and push on. And obviously, I was at Ransoms last year, and I can see that one. I'm probably looking at possibly a draw. That's my fault on that one. Obviously, see the Benall Hawley one. I'm not being funny. That
could be very
as well.
Yeah, that is very good. I was very impressed by Benall on the opening game of the season.
Yeah.
They are unbelievably hardworking. They press well, and they are clinical. They do not waste any opportunities. And this season, they could be a real threat, which is why I say there could be at least 6 teams who could arguably say we're in with a chance on this one. And Hawley.
Well,
sorry, Adam.
I'm quite excited about Benall. Like I think they've got some really good options going forward.
Yeah, they do.
I think they could do really well.
Yeah. They really could. Let's get your comments up on the screen here. Achilles to be relegated, #rivals. On there. Henley versus Halesworth is a standout fixture. I think it has to be, if I'm being honest. Cops are a classy team. I can't see past the Cops win. Obviously, they play against Trimley. That's bold prediction, but I like it. Matt Eggleton. Matt, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining the show, my friend. Good to have you on board. Decent fixtures across the board. Daniel Barnard says Dean loves a draw. Brilliant stuff. Let's move into Div 1 because we are rapidly approaching the 2-hour mark. It's flown by tonight.
It'll be a big one tonight.
It is good. Yeah, we did kind of know. Kesgrave 2, Coddenham 3, Barham 0, Sporting 87 3, Bedricks 3-2 against Stoke Falcons, Grunsborough 1, Wickham Market 2, Southwold 2, Bacton 2, and Tattingstone 4, Stanton 0. Good to see Coddenham getting a win to kick off to get their season up and running. Sporting responding very well to their defeat last week to get a win. Bedricks just continue to do well. Wickham
good, aren't they?
Tattingstone are good, and Wickham again. Picking up a good win. There's
Wickham Market. You expect to go well though, don't you?
I think they're gonna. It's between them and Tattingstone, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I think for me personally,
Tattingstone have just picked up where they left off from last season. Really, I think.
There's a lot. Again, this really is the championship version of the SIL.
Yeah.
Because once you're in it, it's bloody hard to get out of.
Yeah.
It is an unbelievable league. There's some quality teams in here. And do you know what I mean? Stoke Falcons are going to be one of those teams that might possibly be around about mid-table, but can pick up a good result as and when they turn up.
Go away and pick up a win. They were bitterly disappointed after losing last week.
Yeah,
turn that around to 3-0, like that's a big result.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go on, Alex.
With Sporting is a very difficult place to go to and play, whether it's their first team reserves or their A side. It's a very difficult place to go, and I think if they get their home fixture sorted and pick up wins at home, and then they can start picking up 3 points here and there on away, they're going to be really up. They're going to be disappointed because of last season.
Yeah, they will. Yeah,
and they're going to want to push through and get promoted this season. So I say, me as well, Sporting, Tat and Stone. But Bedricksworth, they're one of those they keep popping up. I keep seeing them popping up on Twitter.
Yep.
Picking up results. So I think they're going to be there or thereabouts, to be honest.
Going under the radar. Radar. They're not like everyone's kind of like look at us kind of team. Do you know what I mean? They're very.
It's only their second. Is it a second season in the SIL? Because they were in the Berry League, I think, the season before.
Yeah, they were in the Berry League.
So they're a fairly new team to the SIL. So this is the reason why they're quite easily going under the radar, because they're not as well known as what other sides are and other players. So
I watched them against Elmswell when they first joined, and they absolutely destroyed Elmswell. And they came along to the interview after the game and quite openly said, "Look, we're climbing these leagues. We're not just going to sit here and just be a run-of-the-mill team."
We had a friendly at Ransoms against them as a mixture of the first team and the reserves, and the way they move the ball about, they're very good. They want to play the ball on the floor. Very rarely play a long ball. That's the only game that I've seen. Well, I don't know if that's changed since I've seen them, but they look like a well-established team that have been playing together for quite a while. So,
yeah, definitely. Let's get your thoughts up on the screen. I can already see the Tatting Stone love in the comment section. Here we go. Up the tat.
Just a quick one, James.
Sorry?
Just a quick one. Completely glossed over Southwold Backton.
In what way?
Haven't really discussed that one at all. Like, you know this league better than I do. What are you thinking about that as a result? Like, I thought Backton would go fairly well.
We don't discuss draws on this show. It's only
that's all right.
No, Southwold are a very interesting team, and I mean that in the nicest way, because I don't really know what to make of Southwold. I'm still sitting here after a couple of years of watching SIL football, and I still don't know what they're about.
Yeah,
I think I've only seen them once. I just don't know. Backton are just a very. They're on and off. Backton are very on and off. When they are on it, they are bloody impressive. But they need to find that level of consistency, because they could quite easily do very well in this league. And we've seen it in previous seasons. But that result doesn't shock me. The fact that it finished 2-2, if that makes sense. Go on, Alex. I know you're kind of wanting to jump in there.
With Backton, I think with Backton, if they with one or two signings, they could be competing up in the top five, I would say.
Yeah,
because they've been in Division 1 for quite a while. Because I think when I was at IVR, they were in Division 1 then, so they've been there quite a while. And as you say, it's the leagues are very difficult to get out of.
It's tough.
So they've been
really is
kind of up and down. And with Backton, the facilities that they've got, the pitch, brilliant.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The facilities that they've got there should be drawing those type of players there to be able to push on for, top of Division 1, senior football.
Yeah.
I think they got to the one of the cup finals, of not last season before. I think you went to it.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was. So they've always been there and thereabouts.
Yeah.
It's one or two signings I think they need to have to push on.
Yeah, let's get a few more of your comments up, and then we're going to move on because we are approaching the 2-hour mark. Bournevale reserves, Tatty, great side, good bunch of lads as well. Jamal Allen, Tanstone and Senior will win comfortably. Jordan Copland up the tat. Grant Monaghan has said Wickham will win that league. They have a great team. I've said that Wickham are going to do very well this year. Where the hell is Pedricksworth? I had to find out where that was the other day. I was looking to go to their game just before Bury on the just off the A14. There you go. A little bit of knowledge for you. Tatting Stone are a different class. They will be promoted and then storm the Prem. Good shout from Dean. Love it. Jordan said the Cambridge Drive Bandit running right and Div 1. I'm guessing he's referring to Townstone. Luke Riley, third season now for Bevericks. There you go. We've got Luke Riley saying strong group of lads have added year in year with good players. Playing at Southwold, according to Vinny, is very tough. Yeah, do you know what? I wouldn't disagree with that because they are. I think at one point they were unbeaten for a while last season, but I don't know. I can't quite remember. So we've then got, let's move on into the fixtures. Let's just remove Vinny's comment from the screen there. Moving to the fixtures for this weekend. We've got Bedbricks versus Coddenham, Southwold versus Stanton, Sporting versus Grunsborough, Tattingstone versus Kesgrave, which I can't see anything other than the Tattingstone win if I'm looking at it on paper.
Earlier, James, about a team. You hounded me.
Yeah, but this is my league. Do you know what I mean? This is my league. I can talk. I can say these things. Wenaston versus Barham and Wickham Market versus Bacton. Some very, very good fixtures in and amongst that. Guys, just remember, keep it clean in the comment section. Let's all play nice. Wickham versus Bacton looks to be a good game on paper. Sporting versus Grunsborough, who are going to want to respond after losing last weekend. There's some good fixtures in that league. Some very, very good fixtures. But let's move on to Div 2's results. Elmswell 6-2 against Thurston in the what I believe was being described as the A14 derby, which I absolutely love on social media. Ipswich 2-1 against Melton, which a lot of people were saying was a surprise result, considering Melton are tipped to do quite well this year. Curtin 2, Cockfield United 3, Somersham 2-1 against AFC Your Shirts, which we've talked about, Adam, as one of the shock results. No one really kind of saw that result coming based on the Super 6 anyway. Ufford 1, Bromford Road All Boys 2, and Wolfstone 4, Stonham Aspel 0. Adam, thoughts very quickly on those results. I can't look beyond Elmswell.
No, so that's a big standout result. Stonham have been hit for 4 a couple of times already this season now, haven't they? That's worrying. Somersham beating AFC Your Shirts. I had Your Shirts down for a win as well. So I think that's a great result for Somersham. I think I predicted AFC Your Shirts to win as well. The volume of people that went for Your Shirts to win that tells you a lot. So a massive result for Somersham. Really, really good.
I think I may well have typed out something on there. Is it Ipswich Athletic or is it Ipswich Exiles? I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, Barham versus Wenaston. Someone is finally getting a point. Dean Cooper says Elmswell are on fire at the moment. Massive result for Athletic. Lost in the cup to Melton Thursday, then beat them in the league on Saturday. Yeah. Luke just obviously manager of Thurston said it didn't happen. It's fake news. Somersham up the Summy. Elmswell getting love into the chat. Sorry, I've Born Vale saying they mistyped something in there. Their left back at Wolfstone is top goal scorer in the division, I'm hearing. Simon Beckley is a class left back. There you go. Get your scouts down to see him, whoever is in the chat.
He's a very good player.
Is he?
Very good player. Yeah.
Right.
His stock has now risen. Everyone at Wolverhampton hate it.
The only one there I'm looking at, which was a bit, thought might have been a bit, the Alfred Bramford. Alfred got a good side. Dean's got a good side there.
Do you know what? Every week, people come on and people write in the comments saying, "Ufford are a good team.
Yeah.
They're going to do well this year. They're going to, things are going to start turning around."
Yeah.
And if I bring up the form, that's 3 defeats in 3 now.
I know. Do you
I
know what?
I don't want to sort of like poo-poo people's comments, but you know what I mean. You've got to start turning those performances into
paper
results.
again, isn't it? When you look at the players that he's got, and on paper, it should be different. But I'm not being funny. If you look on paper for Barnard Road Old Boys, they've got their form shouldn't be the way that they are.
Yeah,
I'm not being funny. You've got players in there that can still play furlough none level. You've got players that have played together for a long time in there, and their form should be a lot better than what it is, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it's in, football's never played on paper. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Man City yesterday getting absolutely demolished by Leicester. Really, who would have seen that result coming? Do you know what I mean? So we can't rely. I look at things based on the form, and maybe that's the wrong way to look at things. People in the comments will know because they're there at the games. They see these things. And that's why I want people to get involved in the chat. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because they know more than what I do sitting here, just typing out LLL or win, draw, lose. Do you know what I mean? So, that's why I want people to let me know. But I really hope they can start turning some of these performances into results because, again, we want more competitive football. We want teams beating each other. And as Ricky says on here, a lot of teams in Div 2 can take points from one another on their day. A very, very open league. Lucas said we were woeful, but Elmswell did very well. Daniel Barnard says Ipswich Athletic is a great result. Their 3 starting fixtures were very hard, but got a point off Bramford Road, Old Boys, and now Melton as well. That's a very, very good point considering how they finished last season. Simon Beckley is a good player, but likes to be a big fish in a small pond. There you go. Shots fired in the comments today. Ufford have the players, but something isn't clicking according to Dean. But this from that, there's a lot of good fixtures in there. I want to see how your shirts respond, and you can't pick a tougher fixture in this division, as far as I'm concerned, to try and respond than Elmswell away from home.
They're a good team, though.
They are.
Team you can ever write off. Do you know what I mean? So
you can't. You can't, and that's a test for Elmswell. If Elmswell are, they're one of the favourites, and if you got that label on you, this is the type of fixture that you want to be proving yourself.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So that's a big game. That is a big, big game. More love for Tank Zone in the chat. Somersham with 2 wins.
That's it. To be honest, Somersham, I've been there for friendlies. They've been an up and down side. 2 wins is that's good for them. It's really good for them, but obviously a tough fixture against Bramford.
Yeah, definitely. And as Ian said, Somersham had a good pre-season. Looks like they're carrying that form on. Are Somersham's 2 wins both at home? Because that pitch will even up any game. It's a horrendous slope. I don't know. I'd have to look into that for you, mate. Both from the pitch perspective and from the
I can vouch on the pitch.
Right.
I can vouch on the pitch. Yes, there is quite a slope from the goal at the top down to the bottom of it. I think many of goalkeepers have been caught out by that.
Brilliant. Adam, did you want to jump in on there?
No,
sorry, I thought you were going to say something. Div 3 results. AFC Wanderers 5, Great Blakenham 1, Ipswich Exiles 3, Bramford 7. Laxfield versus Bardwell Sports was postponed. Ochol 2-2 with Hope Church. Stage 2, Kesgrave Kestrels 5, Whitnesham Wasp 5, Aldbrough Town 1, and Wortham 2, Unity 3. Some big results coming at Div 3 this weekend. Obviously, most people will look towards Bramford and see that they've won yet again. But for me,
prize package though, is it?
But for me,
I'm going to be honest.
I'm glad to see Kestrel's getting a win and starting off their season again. I think there's been a bit of a common theme about what I'm saying tonight. I'm enjoying seeing teams who have struggled at the beginning get their season up and running, and I think throughout the divisions, I just want to see it competitive as possible. So that's a great win for them. Wanderers 5-1 against Great Blakenham again is a big statement. Really, really big statement.
They haven't had the best start to the season, have they? I think they've had one win, but that's been about it.
We'll bring up the form guide in a few moments for you, Adam. Luke has said in regards to Div 2, if you finish above Elmswell, you're going to win the league. That's a fair comment. Somersham, we love the slope. Brilliant. Big shout to Bramford, stayed at the Vale and put some money behind the bar. Didn't see the home side. So interesting point on that one. Wortham, now there's a terrible pitch and trip for teams. I would need to Google map it, I'm afraid. It's not somewhere I've ever looked into going to. The final slide for tonight are the fixtures for next weekend for Div 3. Aldborough, who are 3 defeats from 3 against Unity. Bardwell Sports versus Wortham. Bramford United versus Occol. Great Blakenham versus Stage. Hope versus Wanderers. Ipswich Exiles versus Whitlish Wasps. And Kesgrave Kestrels versus Laxfield. Some very tasty fixtures in amongst that division. Occol are in for a
long afternoon.
I was going to say tough game, but you two both went in. You both went in. So yeah.
I can't see that being 0-0 either, James.
No, really can't. On there. So Luke, I can only see a knock-on win there. I love it.
There's going to be more goal updates, and I've had hot dinners in that game, I think.
Born us out. I'm going for a knock-on 5-0 win.
You should have had Super 6. Maybe put their money where the mouth was.
Ian has said half our team can't drink, they're underage. That's brilliant. Guys, I think we're going to wrap up the show there. It has been an incredible 2 hours. I really, really appreciate everybody jumping in, and the fact that there are so many people still watching us after 2 hours and 11 minutes just goes to show how much you guys are enjoying it. We really, really appreciate everyone in the comment section getting involved. Alex, cheers for coming on and being the first official guest on the show, my man. Hope you've enjoyed it. How have you found it?
Yeah, no, that's good. It's but this is the thing. This is what we want. It's what we're all striving for. You know, it's been nice that I've been the first one. Now, hopefully, other people will start getting involved and joining in as well. That's the reason why we watch it. So
definitely. Well, we appreciate you coming on. I'm going to bump you off screen now. After all the hype. Nice one, mate. I really, really appreciate you coming on, and really, really, your involvement has been great tonight. So thank you very much, Adam. Amazing show once again. I hope I haven't gone too OTT with some of my comments tonight, and I hope people understand where I'm kind of coming from in terms of the two-legged semi-final. But once again, an absolutely massive thank you to everyone who's been involved in the chat tonight, everyone who has liked and shared the video.
Big thanks to the partner clubs that have helped us out.
Yes. We I didn't put that slide in there, but we really, really do appreciate everyone who has come on board. Next week we will have that slide on there. Apologies to everyone who was who has done that. But once again, an absolutely massive thank you to all of you guys for the Patreon and for the KoFi supporters of the channel. We really, really appreciate what you guys are doing. There's going to be some big changes coming to the show over the next couple of weeks. I'm excited to bring those to you. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you will know what I'm referring to. We have put out an advertisement for some sponsors coming on board, and we've had some interest, and we will continue to have we want to continue to have conversations with people as much as possible. So if you are interested in sponsoring the show, please do reach out to myself on Twitter. That will be that would be massively appreciated. But yeah, big changes are going to be coming from that. We're going to be able to upgrade and do better things with the show, more things that we want to make improvements on. And particularly from a podcast perspective, we're hoping to have that up and running so you guys can listen to this back after the event on all of those good podcasts and platforms. Alex, great show again, lads. See you both tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to it. I really am tomorrow night. Great show, says Paul. First time watching, we'll tune in again. Thank you, Paul. We really appreciate that, mate. The show has gone unbelievably well over these last few weeks, so we can't thank you guys enough on that. Daniel Barnard, night boys, 43 minutes over the curfew. Naughty. 2 hours and 15 minutes have absolutely flown by. Adam, thank you once again, my man, for joining me and being part of what is a continuing growing show. I really appreciate you jumping on, and yeah, it's going well. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you to everyone in the comment section. You guys have made the show as always. We will be back next Monday, 8:30 as always. We don't let you down over here on the Suffolk Non-League Show. We are here every single week. But until next time, as always, guys, adios.